Hello, and welcome to Lowkey Unfiltered, my show. Saksham Bandari is my name. Here, I talk to people who, in their own special ways, have achieved something sincere and inspiring. In the next episodes, you'll hear first hand accounts of difficulties, dangers, and successes. This episode, we're talking to someone who's reshaping the future of work with AI and transforming businesses across the Middle East and Africa region. Joining me on this episode is Mr. Vasudevan Kidambi, a business transformation strategist, a generative AI coach, author of 10 books, and someone who spent over 3 decades working across the MEA region. His work sits right at the intersection of leadership, technology, and the future of work, especially with ideas like the synthetic worker and ESG driven transformation. Sir Vasudevan, welcome to Loki Unfiltered. How are you?
Excellent, Saksham, and it's a wonderful opportunity. This is, I think, first of its kind that I'm on a podcast with an youngster like you. So I'm feeling very honored.
I'm actually very excited as well because we know like how important AI is in today's modern world as well as business
Absolutely,
transformation.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is going to be an exciting conversation. So, shall we begin?
Please, yeah.
So, before we get into the big ideas, I want to start with you. How would you describe your journey so far, sort of from your early career to where you are now?
My early career, I'm totally put together as 35 years. So my career started with a television manufacturing company, a nostalgic brand in India called BPL. So it
Okay.
all started from there, a shorter stint, and then I moved to Saudi Arabia. I was working for a Dell distributor, just 1 year, short stint, and then bounced to Dubai, and then I stayed here for the last 33 years as time frame.
So that's really interesting, especially the way your career seems to evolve with every phase of change. So you moved from India to Saudi and then here. Um, just a follow up question to this actually. What are some of the early challenges you faced sort of before or on your journey?
See, challenges are part and parcel, right? And challenges mature. Like you also mature, challenges also mature. So at different times there are different challenges. So initially you'll have challenges. When you're talking about Saudi Arabia, Dubai, getting a visa is a challenge,
Yeah,
right?
that's
I'm
definitely a
talking
big
three
yes.
decades ago, right? So then you get your visa, then you get your driving license. Then those are all your initial challenges. Then work-related challenges then happens, right? Then you start learning things. Then you really have some really professional challenges. And since I've been part of Samsung from their very early days time frame, so you have business related challenges, then you overcome that. Every challenge adds to your maturity and your learning repository. So keeps on moving, then you have the next challenges. Then after 14 years time frame, I set up my company, which is now 19-year-old consulting company, right? So that then you have challenges always. So the business has seen 3 recessions, global recessions. So every time,
Yeah, the one
every
in
recession,
2008.
8 onwards, right?
Yes.
And I started in 2007. So since then, 3 recessions, mother of all recession is 2020 COVID,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So, but every time you rediscover things, the world keeps changing. Every time, every recession, the world changes. So keep changing with the world. So then keep learning. Then eventually, I found a way of how to keep adapting to the changes and also rapidly adapt to the changes. And the last part of the story was the Gen AI.
So that really reflects like how change happens and yeah, so it's like a long term exposure basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
You've worked across the MEA region for over 33 years. What's one moment or phase that really shaped the way you think about business transformation today?
It cannot be one moment. There will be several moments of transformation, right? So it again goes by several learnings that we undergo, and that's what transforms you. A learning transforms you, right? So when one of my distributors ran away when I was in Samsung, that was a moment, and I then realized what real business is. right? So then onwards, and then I realized how receiving the funds from the channel becomes very critical for doing business. Thereafter, then I became a specialist in recovering money from very difficult countries also. So that's one transformation that I would say. The second transformation is in terms of how well you adapt to different functions of management, because sum total of all that makes you a rounded professional. So that's another phase that I underwent. And the moment you come into business, then it's always challenges
It's like a
and
war zone,
rounding.
basically.
It's like a war zone. And so,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of experience really gives a different perspective.
Absolutely.
You're known for this idea of problem finding rather than problem solving. Can you explain what that means, in a real business setting?
In business setting, what normally happens is people are reasonably capable of solving a problem. You can do all the analysis, right? You can bring all the scientific analysis and so on. But for you to solve a problem must have taken shape. But that's not being intelligent, right? So the intelligence is all about how you are able to foresee a problem. So it's not prediction, by the way, but it is more in terms of understanding something that could potentially happen that's brewing in the organization. And for that, I used a curiosity-led data analytics. So that's my weapon.
So
Right.
that actually flips the usual mindset completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I follow, I think, Deming's quote, which said, in God we trust, all others bring data. So data tells the truth. Like your blood report will tell the truth,
Yeah.
right? So in business, data tells the absolute truth. So that's when I discovered the art of problem finding is actually a premium skill in organizations.
You've written 10 books, including 3 on generative AI. What pushed you to move from practice into writing and research?
No, practice has been there for long years. So a time comes when all the practice, the sum total of that, either it has to just evaporate or it has to find its way in the form of giving back to the society. Writing a book is one fantastic way of giving back to the society. It stays. The moment you have a book, it stays for centuries, right? And that's the idea that bit me. And then I said, now this is a time I will start transferring the knowledge that I've been accumulating all these years.
Yeah, because writing at that level also forces clarity. So you're forced to be clear to the society in what you're trying to do for the world, basically.
In fact, clarity is one of my curiosity position that I always have. I'm always curious to find clarity in many, many things that we normally see and then we kind of wash it away. Like, for example, suddenly if somebody says, I have an innovative idea, I would be very curious. Is it innovative idea or a creative idea? Right? It's just that small shift. And that's how I started nurturing the curiosity, which all of us actually lost from childhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As a baby, we were all curious, 120% we were curious, right? Everything was curious. Light was curiosity. The colors were curious. It made us curious. But we over a period of time lost. So I have regained that curiosity completely. And that is a phenomenal power.
Can you briefly summarize about those 3 books about generative AI?
Interestingly, the first book is called the Prompting Playbook. The whole book is all about how to ask a question. Today, tech leaders globally, they all say that the way to use Gen AI is nothing but you need to know or hone your skills in terms of how to ask a question. That is the skill.
I think that's the thing we all struggle with in
That's the
today's
thing we
world.
also. Because when you say asking a question, inbuilt in that is clarity,
Yeah.
right?
We often don't get the results we want if the question asked is not framed in the correct way.
Exactly. Even if you frame, you miss out 20-30% of component which has to make it a complete rounded question. So that book is purely in terms of helping people how to ask a question. Even today it is one of the premium skills, so to say. Yeah. The second book is all in terms of, I said, build your own AI garage. So modern knowledge worker is like a technician, an automobile technician. So you take your automobile, and there's a young boy who comes with few tools, right? 4 or 5 tools. Those set of 4 or 5 tools is enough to set right a specific problem in your automobile. So similarly today, for a knowledge worker, you need to know which are those Gen AI tools that are to be called in from your garage, right? And then to fix the problem in a matter of few minutes time frame. So then I said, yeah, that's a nice thing. So build your own AI garage was my second book, where we actually give the tools that generally all the knowledge workers can be.
That shows how AI is significant in solving the world's major issues.
Exactly. And the third one, still yet to publish, but the book is completed. It's called the synthetic worker, called the synth worker.
All right.
And that's a very interesting new age revolution, which we all will see in 2026. It's a whole new workforce layer.
So by when do you think it's going to be published?
By March, April or so.
March, April,
Yeah.
okay. Your recent research paper was awarded Best Research Paper for the theme centering around bringing circularity in the generational divides. Can you briefly describe it?
Prior to that, there's another book which I've written, which is there in front of you, which is called From Lines to Loops. So that's a book which is my attempt to make humanity shift from a linear thinking to circular thinking, right? So if I say metrics is linear, people chase certain numbers in business, but impact is circular, right? So travel is linear, discovery is circular. Is it not?
Yes.
Right?
I
So
agree.
people travel and they get tired, but discovered nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's no curiosity in the whole travel, right? So the same thing is the what influenced me to present that paper, because it's also my next book also. When I saw the whole world the generations are based on year to year.
Yeah.
This year to this year is boomer, this year to this year. I said, why? Why did you have this linear
Even I never truly digested the fact that
Exactly.
there were these many divides in the generations.
Who asked you? Who on whose authority?
Yeah.
Right? So I questioned that. See, questioning is a fantastic skill. Now you can, after questioning, you validate it, you accept it. And that's the way forward. I always believe that. So when I started questioning, then I also saw another problem in the society. Who said 58 or 60 is the retirement and the person should have to pack from work? Who said that?
Nobody said that.
Nobody said that.
Yeah.
It's just a linearity thinking, right? And who said these people will have to be boxed as senior citizens? These people will have to be boxed as age-old people. Who said that, right? So when you put all these questions, then I created a new socio-construct. And this socio-construct is called Generation Renaissance, Gen R. So Gen R is nothing but somebody who is physiologically over 60, cognitively in their 30s, right?
Yeah.
You can, right?
Yeah, you
So
can.
if somebody can map to a 2-year-old child or 1-year-old child all the way to a 95-year-old gentleman or a lady, and that's there are many, millions of people are there. But the society boxes them into a cliche.
I think my grandparents would be a prime example of this.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to question this, and then that's the concept of that particular paper in terms of this cognitively 30, physiologically 60. They have an important role to play in the society.
Yeah.
These are the people who have seen bullock cart. They are also the same people who will also use Hyperloop in a year or two. This is the same set of people who have seen handwritten newspaper, and they are also going to witness the artificial superintelligence by 2029. Elon Musk says, he reiterated it. Yeah. So this generation has got a lot to give back to the young generation. So it's a movement, and the paper was on that, the entire movement of that.
Your latest work introduces the idea of the synthetic worker, like you just mentioned. For someone hearing that term for the first time, what does it really mean and why does it matter now?
It's actually an evolution. It's not now, because all other works have already happened. The AI, the advent of AI, the advent of Gen AI, ChatGPT is 3 years old. So the entire Gen AI is moving at a breakneck speed. So it has to move on. It has to move to the next and the next, right? So then now we have seen agentic AI, we have seen AI agent. So what is naturally as an evolution? It is the synth worker. So synth worker, people look at synth worker or synthetic worker when you say, they get afraid of that. But today it is nothing but it is another way to evolve the human being from what they are doing and what they are currently in. And I'll give you a simple example. So today, if I will tell you that people are hired, jobs have a purpose, right? But the calendar of people who are performing the job is not towards a purpose. It is filled with the tasks, right?
Yeah.
And a task is nothing but the marketing manager who is supposed to be working on a consumer side and then understanding the consumer and work towards market growth. He or she is busy with Excel sheets, right? And PowerPoint presentations. So today you don't need that, right? So this synth worker is going to be a whole new workforce layer. What you in actually a Gen AI, the definition, what Jensen puts, the CEO of NVIDIA, he says these computers can do 30%, 50%, or 60% of what you are capable of doing 1,000 times faster. Right?
Right.
So when it can do 1,000 times faster, you have to happily give it to the system and move on to do things for which our thinking capability is much more put to use. That's where the purpose comes. So the synth worker is more on that. People will understand over a period of time, and then they will evolve. So it's just the beginning of.
So they're going on the same pace as the AI. Essentially, that's what it means, right?
Much larger pace, I would say.
Okay.
Because
so it's on a much broader scale.
Much broader scale, much faster also. Because Elon Musk has already reiterated for yet another time that humanoids are a reality by 2029. 2029 is just around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like 3 years away.
Yeah,
3 years away.
When I say 5 years during my presentations, I said 5 years is such a short because day before yesterday we understood there was a lockdown, right? It is just
right.
we have not forgotten it. So
that was just 2 years ago. I would say 2-3 years ago.
Exactly. So in business, we say long-term business plan is 5 years. That was appearing to be long. It's not long anymore.
Yeah.
COVID is just 5 years behind us, right? It is just 5 years. So 2029, 2030, whatever. So we have to move, and there are several technologies that are coming from now till then. So it's people will have to rapidly adapt to all these things.
That's more exciting and slightly unsettling as well, honestly.
Provided you switch on your curiosity button. Otherwise, everything will become very boring or everything will become burdensome, right? So as long as switch on your curiosity button, automatically learning happens. So that's why I give a nice emblem saying that stay curious, keep learning.
That's a really good emblem.
Cannot keep learning if you don't switch on the curiosity.
Now that we've set the scene, let's get into the more AI side of the podcast.
Okay.
A lot of us use AI for literally anything, work, personal use. Personally, I use AI for pretty much all my schoolwork, whether it's question papers or even just random thoughts that I have. AI is usually the first place I go. So we all know it's significant. Where do you think the line should be between using AI as a tool or becoming too dependent on it?
Well, before that, using AI as a tool. There should be using AI responsibly is the whole critical aspect of it, right? So, and that's precisely I engage myself in doing a lot of master classes for people to make them responsibly use AI, right? So the era, Saksham, now is that you have to co-think. You need to learn how to co-think, and that's the whole beauty of it, right? And what do you mean by co-thinking? All of us are having certain amount of knowledge and experience, and the limit is your age and your number of years of experience. But if you can get your knowledge connected to the global collective knowledge, that is the whole power. So co-thinking becomes the most critical aspect, and that leads you to lots of magic. Co-thinking, right? And here I always tell people what I mean by responsible use of AI, not as an AI as a tool. And I always say it's not a tool, it's not a technology. ChatGPT is not a technology, it's not a laptop, it's not a computer, it's nothing. It is just a human. It's another. The moment you are saying that you are co-thinking, unless otherwise you credit it with equivalent to human. And why do we say AI is like human-like capabilities? They say that, right?
Yeah, they say that.
If it is human-like a capability, better learn to deal with that as human. Is it not?
Yeah.
But the whole thing lies on and only if you are thinker at the beginning and you must be sense maker at the end. Put the machine in the middle. This way, you can be completely one, be responsible. Second one, this is your guardrail that you are on top of any kind of systems or technology or whatsoever, rather than the technology engulfing human or human jobs or whatever.
A lot of people fear AI replacing jobs, but you talk about AI working alongside humans. How do leaders get that balance right, sort of without losing trust?
Trust in what way?
Trusting the AI in doing the job for you.
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost thing, there should be clarity, right, as to what AI
Yeah, like
is.
you mentioned before.
Exactly. So
So you have
again,
to get the prompts right, mainly.
not to get the prompt right, and that puts everybody in a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Is my prompt right? Which is the right prompt? I said, no need. Forget about prompt. There's nothing called, if people world talks about prompt engineering, I'm an anti-prompt engineering person. There's nothing called engineering, right? Two things the world did not realize, and that is because social media did not talk about that. Because your ChatGPT or Gemini, all of these, which are called large language models, they are basically an application of NLP. And what's NLP?
I'm not really
Natural
sure. Can you
language
explain?
processing,
Okay.
right? So the world was confused earlier in the early days, confused between NLP as natural language processing versus neuro-linguistic programming. And again, they thought that, it is not for us, kind of. So when I understood that it is natural language processing, nothing but it is a conversation that you and I are having, right? And when two people talk or when two friends talk, there's nothing called, you don't look at grammar. Sometimes you don't look at structured way of conversing also, right?
It's like very informal.
Very informal, very unstructured. You start telling a story, halfway through you realize that, you know what, when I started from home, I forgot to tell you that. Okay, then, so we are able to understand, right?
Yeah.
So with a lot of difficulty, I move people to talk to machines. Where is engineering here? So I make people realize that it is absolutely easy the moment you shift. But that shift can be possible only when you think that it is not a system or a technology or a tool, it is human-like, right? Therefore, I shift people from prompt engineering to natural talking. And that creates a huge shift in the manner with which they use the systems.
So in the workforce, you definitely do need humans, right? You can't rely completely on AI systems.
In the workforce, humans will continue to exist. But the like 30 years before computerization gave the same problem. The syllabus has not changed at all because every summer is hotter, right? Last summer, this summer is more hotter, right?
Yeah.
So this time, this transformation that's happening, like what we saw 30 years before, is exactly the same thing. You don't resist. All those people who face difficulty are the ones who resist the change or fail to adapt.
I think there are many people who fail to adapt sometimes.
And they eventually adapt,
Yeah.
right? They are the last people. But it will take another 2, 3, 4, 5 years as time frame for some people. But the people who are looking at the world and then the changes that the world is bringing, you need to be fast adapting to the changes.
That human angle is what most conversations miss.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, I've heard Elon Musk saying in one of his conferences that AI has the potential to be more dangerous than nukes. To what extent do you agree with this?
Nukes are dangerous even today, right? So even before that, there are several dangerous things which are still there in the world that
Definitely,
is existing, right?
yes.
World has not come to an end. Just because nukes are available, it's now available in plenty, right? World is not coming to an end. So AI will not bring the world to an end. Right?
Okay.
There are a lot of talks going on, and but humans always will persist, right? Humans will bring the kind of systems or whether the kind of the governance that's required, and the world will move on.
The world always moves on, basically. From any disaster, the
Exactly.
world always moves on.
Exactly. But those should not be the reasons for why you should not adapt to the change. So if there's a reason to fear that, be the change. Get into the system and be the change,
Yeah.
right? And be the guardrail provider for that, right? Rather than staying on the other side. So I always believe, you can be. It is better to be optimistic and fail rather than being pessimistic and fail, right?
Like they say, faith can move the mountains.
Faith can move mountains. Yeah, exactly.
Before we get into ESG, can you briefly describe what it is to our viewers who may not be very clear with it?
ESG is environment, social, and governance. That many people understand it or misunderstand it as only to do with environment, right? So environment is, as the acronym says, it is 1/3. Right? There's a social part of it and there's a governance part of it. So put together, this is to make the planet much more sustainable. When you say sustainable, again, it is not to be understood as the environment part. So even a social angle is to make the society sustainable, right? A corporate entity sustainable, right? So, and when it comes to governance, again, it is also another form of sustainability, right? Lack of governance will bring the company down, will bring the organization down, right? So all of it put together is where the world is moving. It's a sense of responsibility, right? I'm a student in that. I've already written one book on ESG. It's mindset. So I pick up what is missing, where the world's conversations are more in terms of energy, numbers, and all that stuff. And I was looking at it and I said, where is the mindset, right? So if you need to switch on the human minds in order to bring that sense of a collective responsibility. So that was one thing. Another research paper that I've presented was on integrity, right? That's another aspect of it. So it's a journey for me as far as ESG is concerned. I'm pursuing my doctorate in ESG, so maybe by 2028, I should be achieving that milestone as well. Yeah.
So, like you just said, you're currently pursuing a doctorate in ESG. What drew you to specialize in this field, and why do you think it matters so much today? Considering many firms and economies are also integrating this into their systems.
One of my 10 books you were mentioning, and that it's called, one of the books is called "What is Your And." So, what is your and is a perpetual question for everybody, and so it is for me as well, right? So, what is my and? I look at myself in next 5 years' time frame. by 2030, there will be enough and more, pressure in the society and in the corporate world in terms of making more and more institutions and corporate entities and organizations responsible as far as the ESG is concerned. So it needs lots of people, it needs lots of thought leaders, it needs lots of transformers
Collective change.
to bring about that particular change. So this is my journey. By 2030, I would want to be somebody, a force to reckon with on that. So that is my and. So I always work on everybody must work on your current, and 30% of the time you need to work for your and. And that is
For your
called
future.
preparation, right?
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree with that.
exactly. And resilience is built not at the time of crisis. Resilience is built during good times, right? And that's nothing but preparation.
Now that we've covered what ESG is, where do you think companies usually go wrong with it? And how can they turn ESG into something that actually creates value and is meaningful to the wider society?
Yeah, I think it's a will that is required. Today it is more in terms of a compulsion that people do. That's why I started with mindset. So a compulsion is always that yes, something has to be done, something has to be complied with as a matter of compliance and all that. So it is still there. So that's why the concept of integrity is what I'm pushing into the corporate world. And my research also is going to be only on integrity and how different it is, right, from what you claim that you want to do and what actually you have done. And whatever you have done, is there anybody who can assure that what you have done, right? All these aspects are very, very critical and integral part of true implementation of ESG.
For me, the mindset is to think about what's in your control and to forget about like the things you can't control, the things that are not in your hand. So how do you agree with that?
I am a firm believer of this. I would have said exactly what you said, maybe 5,000 times. What is in your control, you must act. What is not in your control, it's common to everybody. Don't
Yeah.
bother, right? So
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
a lot of people focus on what you can't control.
Exactly.
Right?
In fact, that was me at one point.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the conversation is more on what you can't control. We don't need, right?
Yeah.
So focus on what you can control. Then that brings a lot of efficiency. Is it right?
I did a TEDx speech in Pune, so my speech was exactly about this particular mindset.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'll send it to you shortly.
Lovely.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Your research on generational divides and circularity won awards. From your experience, what do different generations misunderstand most about each other at work?
Well, that's going to be my challenge as well. So my endeavor is to make this so-called what you call senior generation or the physiologically over 60, cognitively in 30s, they need to talk to this young generation. So both of them have some corrections to be made, right?
Right.
The senior generation must understand things from their perspective. So I have a concept called scale, right? So you need to, when you talk or when you transact with somebody else, you need to be looking at it from their scale, not from your scale. But generally people do it from our scale,
Yeah.
right? So even if it is between husband and wife, the moment you shift and then look at it from their scale, the whole thing is very different, right? When father to son, it should be from their scale, right? So therefore, this generation must learn how to look at things from this young generation. This young generation also has a small defect, right? That they need to look at the senior generation, that what is it that I can get from them, right? You have speed, you need little wisdom, right?
Yeah.
They have wisdom, but no
They
speed.
need speed.
Right?
Speed and
But
efficiency.
they may need speed or they may not, but they can transfer the wisdom.
Yeah.
And the younger generation can actually make the whole thing into 20x or 50x, right? So this is going to be my challenge. And then I'm sure I'm going to, as this Gen R is going to become a movement and it has to get certain credibility in the society. It should be the identity should be created.
That explains a lot of workplace tension, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, including in workplace, right? And that's still a challenge and most talked but not acted, because why? I always believe anything needs an identity.
Yes.
Without an identity, you can't make something, you can't bring things onto the table.
Correct.
So Gen R is such an identity, and it's going to be a journey for me. It's 3 to 5 years journey. Yeah.
You've held leadership roles across companies like Samsung, Sanyo, and multiple consulting firms. What's one transformation decision you made that really changed outcomes?
There will be several again, because it's a 30-year long journey, right? So in the art of problem finding is definitely one of my creations, I should say. That you actually have to only look at when anybody tells a problem, they really do not know what exactly the problem is, right? And it's us to really find out. And I'll make it very easy. So you go to a doctor and you say, "Doctor, I have a stomach pain." There's nothing called stomach,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is it not, right? So the doctor then figures out it's something, this your pancreas is compromised, or you have a liver issue, or you're a kidney, or your intestine, or what, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, when I understood that when businesses share a challenge that they are facing, we need to go and actually deconstruct that, decipher that, and transformation becomes natural after that.
You're described as a last mile business transformation coach. What does that actually mean in practice when companies bring you in?
Very interesting. I self-coined myself as last mile man. And many a times when I give my profile on the screen, everybody looks at it and said, "I can understand everything, but what is that last mile man?"
Even I wondered the same thing when I went through
Right?
yours.
So you always have to put something that brings a sense of curiosity to the mind. So that is this last mile man. But however, it has got a very strong background to that. That we do a lot of activities and exercises or whatever that we do, right? The hard work. We fail to communicate. The failure happens in communication, and that is your last mile, right? You could have done a huge job, but if you have not communicated, that's where the problem is. And another challenge there is people communicate, people don't articulate. That's the difference between communication
Yes.
and articulation, right?
Yes.
So my ability is communication, right? If I articulate, then I'm just actually talking in a manner that you can understand it effortlessly. That is articulation, right? So that is actually the last mile.
Oh, you're a CPD accredited Gen AI coach
Yeah.
and a top 1% ChatGPT user globally. How do you personally test whether AI tools are genuinely useful or just hype?
No, for me, it's not a hype at all, because I'm genuinely using them,
Yeah.
right? And it is very interesting to note by early this year, like all the tools and the social media always gives you what you did whole of last year. So I was very fascinated to get that badge from ChatGPT saying that you are one among the top 1%. I mean, top 1%
Yeah.
means
That's
1%
very
of the
rare.
800 million, right?
Yeah.
Of ChatGPT users and so on. So that is very nice and very interesting for me to get that badge from them, because I was extensively using ChatGPT. Today I have my ChatGPT, which is a nice tamed system for me. It's well tamed human being. So I get an accuracy to the second decimal, right?
Damn. Okay.
And the very first way of asking, the very first attempt, I almost always get the fantastic outcome from that. Of course, yeah, that's how the whole tool has been tamed over a period of time.
You've worked extensively with academia and institutions. How different is the way students approach AI compared to corporate leaders?
Well, there is an element of lack of awareness, both at the students level and at the faculty level. So that's the reason why I took that another shouldering a responsibility. It is very easy to convey to students, right? They catch immediately.
Yeah.
And another thing is, if you train one faculty, then that faculty will continuously train 200 students every year, year after year, right? So you can see the impact that you make. When I do do a program for a corporate entity, I do it for 15, 20 people, same effort, right? So I make it only 15, 20.
Yeah.
But when I do it for a faculty, then each faculty goes and transforms another 200 students year after year. So
Yeah.
that's a fantastic
That creates a more like wider impact.
Yeah. It needs a 200x impact, right? So
With your background in ESG and sustainability, how do you see AI influencing responsible business practices rather than just efficiency?
see, AI is touching each and every field. So ESG is also another field that AI will make its impact, like it's making an impact in finance and HR and all the places as well, right? So AI gives you the speed. All of us have seen that, experienced that, right? So the speed, quality, efficiency, and capability. Which function doesn't want all these things, right?
Yeah.
So in 5 years before, if you had asked all these things in one go, that's called daydreaming, right? Highest quality in shortest span with the least cost is daydreaming,
Yeah.
right? But today it is possible, is it not?
With the help
So-
of AI.
Yeah, so every function has to leverage this capability. ESG is also leverage its capability. And I am leveraging the capability because I am on one hand ESG, on the other hand is Gen AI. So I'm able to bring that. So over a period of time, you can see that happening in the corporate world also.
What's a common mistake organizations make when they think they're being AI ready?
They think they are AI ready,
Yeah.
but they are not AI ready. And that's the reason is because people still understand AI as technology, right? So they try to
So they don't
invest in
consider
tech.
AI as a human till now. They still think it's just a technology.
No, that is definitely AI
Yeah.
is there in technology, but that's not the only part of it. They have to look at human transformation
Yeah.
in terms of adapting to this technology, right? That is not still seen. Even today, people think bring an AI solution, let the technology team work, and then let things happen. Now, that's a wrong understanding of that. Where is you in that?
Yeah.
So every AI, there should be you in that. And today, Gen AI is leading lots of automation as well,
Yeah.
right? And therefore, the world, that's the mistake that corporate still do. That thinking the moment you call artificial intelligence, even if I say Gen AI, they still attribute it to the technology team. Now, this is Gen AI has nothing to do with technology,
Yeah.
right? So that clarity is still not there in most of the corporate leadership circles also. But that's why I'm in the academia, I'm in the institutions, sometimes addressing some 600 people of Rotary Club and the Lions Club and all these people, and then giving them this understanding, the right understanding of what is AI, what is Gen AI. Today I'm again helping people understand what is AI agent, what is agentic AI, what is synth worker. Although they are jargon, they look like jargons, but you need to take an effort to understand things. And if people understand it on an average basis, it only leads to confusion.
How do you explain complex AI ideas to leaders who aren't technical at all? Because I've heard in many workplaces that there are still some traditional working styles that haven't fully adapted to newer, more efficient processes. I think my granddad is actually an example. So he owns a textile company, but till now he's not been able to integrate it into a computer. So, so what is your view on that?
Very simple. Again, they need to understand what AI can do for them. So generally, the question, if you see, people ask what ChatGPT can do. Can ChatGPT do this? Can this do this? Can this technology do this? The question has to be reversed and flipped. What you want the technology to do for you. See, again, it is not something that you outsource. Anything that you outsource goes out of your hand. And today, people are trying to outsource their thinking,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to ChatGPT. And that's a disaster, right? So that is why I keep on and making them understand that don't outsource the thinking. And if you have to retain your creativity and your originality, so I have a framework called the Big Framework. Brainstorming and ideating must be yours.
Yeah.
Leave the generating part to
The
the
AI.
tool, the AI, the tool. Let it do that. We have done this several 3 decades before. So today, if I ask any of my audience, 925 plus 1246, nobody will move even a millimeter, not even wink an eye, because all of us are very clear
Yeah.
that it's a job of the calculator, right?
Right.
10 years before, some 3 or 4 people would have made an attempt to do this mental math, to add them up, right? But today, nobody does that. So, similarly, we need to leave the job of generating to the system, but brainstorming and ideating must be yours.
Has to be yours. Yes.
You must be the thinker at the beginning, you must be the sense maker at the end, so that you are effectively
Getting a good
bringing
output.
that guardrail,
Yeah.
right, of irresponsible and ethical use of AI.
Can you give an example of when AI did not meet public expectations or produced unexpected or disappointing results? It could be your own experience.
No, but it's too early to say,
Yeah.
right? It's in a journey. It's just the nascent stages, right? What ChatGPT could not, ChatGPT and all these things were hallucinating a lot, right? In 2022, it was full of hallucination. They improved 2023. They improved further 2024. Whole of last year, lots of improvement. Today at the Davos summit, I was seeing that the tech leaders are saying that the hallucination has come down significantly to a low. And we are all, as you experience these tools, you can see that,
Yes.
right? So it's just the journey. So we should not look at anything failure, because it is just very early stages of this.
What kind of questions should companies be asking before investing in AI?
They should first ask, are they ready to embrace
I think I
Gen
asked a
AI?
question based on this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should ask themselves
Need to be
the
AI
question,
ready.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready to embrace Gen AI? There are 2 parts to it, right? One is, if you embrace Gen AI, you are in a much better position to understand even those technologies,
Yes.
right? See, today knowledge monopoly has ended. I don't have a knowledge on certain aspect, even it can be in engineering, but for me to acquire that knowledge, it takes 2 minutes time frame.
Yes.
I become knowledgeable immediately. So because knowledge is democratized, knowledge is commoditized, right? So therefore, that's why the key thing for people today is to embrace this Gen AI and this revolution. Go through it. It doesn't happen overnight, right? Go through the phase of embracing it, taming and understanding how to co-think, how to have conversation. It's human to machine conversations, right?
Yeah.
How to do that? People have not taught us, right? Human to human conversation itself is still a problem, right?
Yeah, this definitely
Now
still a
human to machine conversation is a whole new game altogether, and there is no syllabus, right? This all comes for people only by practice, and that is where still people are lacking in terms of embracing. And this is a beautiful opportunity for everyone. All you need to do is just embrace Gen AI, and life becomes much, much easier. Yeah.
Is there a point where too much automation starts hurting innovation?
We already have come a long way in automation. How do we say too much?
Yeah.
Right? You sit here and then you reach any part of the world in 3 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, 14 hours, right? Is it not?
Yeah.
So from that onwards to anything, automation has been always there for the last few centuries itself, right? So it doesn't matter. It will keep on moving because it's natural evolution of mankind.
What does AI have stored for in the future? I mean, it's already so advanced. How much further do you think we can go? Particularly in infrastructure, the environment, even online, because We've all seen so many content creators use AI to upload videos and have gained lots of views. Me personally, also, I've gained a decent amount of views. So I just want to know your opinion about it.
So it's not AI. If I wouldn't want to say AI is already in its advanced stage.
Yeah, even
It
I would
is
not
in
like
a
to say that.
nascent stage.
Yeah.
Right. So when I started this journey in Gen AI, I was told that there is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, right? Which has got the capability to perform judgment and absolute reasoning, talk in multiple languages and all that. So that is AGI. We are still in the very early stages of AGI. After that, you have this ASI, which is artificial super intelligence, right? And
So I've
that,
heard of artificial intelligence, not artificial super
yeah,
intelligence.
artificial super intelligence will surpass human capabilities, including
So it's
wisdom.
way more advanced than normal, regular AI tools.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Now, what is after that? One more will come. What is after? So it's as Satya Nadella in one of the interviews he said that after that one more technology will come, right? And it is moving us from one cognitive level to another cognitive level, and we will perform at that cognitive level whenever those technologies and those transformed ways of doing things comes. So we will move to we have already moved in that form, right? We were writing, right? From there, we are storing, right? So that itself is a huge cognitive level.
Yeah.
So in all aspects of human life, humanity, you will see this
So whether it's
evolution.
infrastructure, whether it's environment, whether it's
Everything,
everything else.
everything. Personal life
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
So for 15, 20 years before, you were standing in the middle of the road and then trying to stop a cab. Now you don't do that.
Yeah, you can just book a taxi from
And you
your
wait
phone.
for the cab to come
Yeah.
and then say, Captain has arrived. Only
It
then you
comes
will
in
move
less,
from your
and
couch.
it comes in less than like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So it's changed. It's right. And we are adapting to that. Certain things we seem to be adapting easily. Certain things when it comes to things like Gen AI, you know why, Saksham, that's one biggest thing in that. Because all the revolutions that we have seen in mankind happen outside the human body, including your smartphone.
Yeah.
For the first time, this revolution, even the AI was happening outside the human body. An ATM machine is an AI, right? Performs a lot of intelligent function today. It's not just only cash dispensing machine today,
Yes.
right? But those were all fine. But this Gen AI is something that is trucking itself into your mind space. That we are not comfortable with,
Yeah.
right? We thought we are only the species who can think, right?
Yes.
But this machines, our system, are saying that I can also think. And we still have not come to terms with that. And that's where this humanity is facing that.
So how long do you think we'll take to get in terms to that?
Well, as long as they all transform, computerization took 10 years as time frame.
Yeah.
People say that 10 years, we can't afford 10 years for this, because that was 30 years before.
Yeah.
The speed with which world was moving was very different speed. Today the speed is very different. So 3-4 years itself is too late for people to embrace Gen AI. ChatGPT has already celebrated its 3rd birthday, right?
Oh, yeah. Just a fun little question. What's your favorite AI chatbot? Is it ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, anything else?
For me, it's always ChatGPT. Because I always, and I tell my people and participants also, you have one tool. You need to tame the tool, right? You may occasionally go to a Perplexity or to a Claude for a different reason. But you must have one primary tool. And I also teach them saying that some people have this habit of trying one tool and then trying the same thing with another tool,
That's what I do.
another tool, right?
That's what I do.
So it is for me, you must first learn how to ride a bicycle. It doesn't matter which brand. Today, all of them, of course, there are other tools are catching up with ChatGPT. ChatGPT was by far leading, but yeah, Claude has caught up with ChatGPT, Gemini has caught up with ChatGPT. It doesn't matter. People will, things will happen, right? But however, do you know how to ride a bicycle is my question,
No.
right? So do you know how to use a LLM?
No.
And that's where the catch is, right? So knowing how to use an LLM is nothing but knowing, we need to know what that LLM is all about. So if you have a driving license, you can drive a car. You can drive a Lexus, right? The moment I say there's a Tesla car outside, can you drive?
No, it's a very different car. It has different controls.
So you need to understand that machine,
Yeah.
right? Now I say there's a Ferrari outside, 326 GT 326 or whatever.
F1 car.
F1 car. Okay. You have a driving license,
Yeah.
right? So
You
can
still can't drive.
You can't drive. You need to learn about that machine. ChatGPT is a Ferrari car. People understand it as a normal Kia or a Toyota car. It's not that. It's a Ferrari car. So once you know that, then you start understanding the machine, and then you know how to run with the machine.
Before we move into the latter part of this wonderful session, I have one last question. How do you see AI helping people with different types of disabilities overcome everyday challenges, whether it's physical, sensory, cognitive? Because we all know how difficult their lives become. I've heard a little bit about AI in areas like paralysis, but I'd love you to give us a broader perspective.
I think there are lots of AI related advancement even for vision impaired people today,
Yeah.
that they are able to visually understand. It's all about perception, right? So I think AI is making tremendous advancement in practically all the fields now, especially with the startup revolution. Practically most of the startup revolution has its foundation on AI today, right?
I've most prominently heard about paralysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will find lots and lots more coming up with the use of AI and this technology, including vision or in all forms. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and watch for all of them.
To wrap this up, for young people today who feel overwhelmed by AI, careers and constant change, or even those who rely too much on AI, what's one mindset or principle you think they should hold on to as they move forward?
Come again once again?
Okay, wait, I'll just ask the question again.
Again, yeah.
To wrap this up, for young people today who feel overwhelmed by AI, careers, constant change, and even those who rely too much on AI, what's one mindset or principle you think they should hold on to as they move forward?
My take for students is to continuously, it's not overwhelming, right? That's the order of the day. That is the way of life. Using Gen AI is the new way of life. It's a whole new way of thinking and a whole new way of working. So they must use it more and more. The only drawback is how they are using it responsibly.
Yeah, they should use it responsibly.
They should
Like
use
you
it
mentioned
responsibly.
earlier in the podcast.
Exactly. Thinker at the beginning, sense maker at the end. This is all the formula, right? And anybody, student or faculty or anybody, if they follow this, thinker at the beginning, sense maker at the end, then which means you are completely protected in the use. Then you can just use in all forms.
That's a really grounded way to look at the future.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what about you? You've already achieved so much. So I just want to know what are your future plans? Something new that you want to explore in AI or just entirely different that can change the world in a whole new way?
Well, I already have one tail that I've caught, which is Gen AI.
Yeah.
I need to travel to AGI. I need to travel to the next. And it's interesting that I'm seeing myself pioneering in implementing synth worker solutions. That's one. And then, of course, I have another track, which is on the ESG, right? So, yeah, these two are reasonably good enough. And I have my Gen R, that's another track. So I have some multiple tracks, which keeps me fully busy, right?
And with that, we've come to the end. Thank you so much, Sir
Lovely.
Vasudevan, for taking the time to be on Lowkey Unfiltered. Your insights on AI and business transformation were truly inspiring. Thank you so much.
It was really fantastic talking to you, Saksham.
I think I need you as my coach or something.
No, always a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dear viewers, Lowkey Unfiltered is here to spark new ideas and challenge the way you see things. I hope this episode gave you insights you can take into your own world. As for my YouTube channel, well, I have all the equipment ready and I will be back to recording shortly. So, stay tuned for episode 4 of this amazing podcast series. Peace, thank you, and have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.